it like a problem solving tool?
How do I decode that in my life? Like, how do I get out of that confusion phase of my life or that downfall of my life? So it impacts you in your own readings. Like you end up not becoming who you should be.
Who actually picks the cards? Because on YouTube or Instagram, when we see readings, the reader herself or himself are doing it. So, what happens in the real setting?
That ye kaun hai? Why will she tell who what I should do? She's nobody. Like, I know what is meant for me. Then you're very closed.
What does a crystal actually do?
So, crystals in itself is a very raw form or a natural form of stone. And every crystal has its own benefits.
So, India is a very spiritual country. We have had a history of spiritual leaders who have literally taught people how they can change their lives and make world a better place to live. There are different aspects to spirituality, meditation. There are people who speak about law of attraction, numerology, astrology. It's endless. Today, we are specifically talking about tarot cards. And I'm so lucky that I could bring an expert like Nidhi to this podcast to just give the most authentic information that is available today to all my viewers. This is one of the biggest days for my podcast because Nidhi is such a great professional when it comes to tarot readings. She never has any filters. She's going to give you the most that she has when you come to a reading. You can know more about her through her Instagram and her YouTube, links to which will be in the description. Not only tarot reading, she's also teaching people law of attraction and other things where you can cleanse your energy and improve your life as an experience. So make sure you watch this video till end. If you have any other questions that I might have missed in this podcast, make sure you comment it and I will request Nidhi to answer them. So make sure you watch it till end and share it with all of your friends because if you don't know about tarot, now you know. Hi Nidhi, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, it's so nice to be here. I'm glad, I'm happy.
Yeah, so have you done like any podcast on your profession that is tarot reading?
Yes, so I think in the last month, around 2 podcasts is what I've done, specific talking about tarot, spirituality, manifestation.
Yeah. So, YouTube has opened up so many worlds of knowledge that were earlier untapped, one of which is tarot, at least for me, because I've never heard or experienced anything like that. But, there are so many channels right now rising and they have amazing engagement also. So, this is a topic that I've been very curious about, and it's a pleasure to have you because you are an expert in this. Like, I visited your Instagram and it's one of the most valuable pages today we have in India, right? So, thank you for what you're doing.
I'm more than grateful and happy to answer everything you want to know about tarot or things around that.
So let me just take you back to how you started, like because tarot is such a unique profession in India. We know engineering, medicine. That is like the correct answer for every question. How did you start? How did you like become a tarot reader, or think about becoming a reader?
Tarot never, I mean, I never thought about doing the whole course as okay, I have to become a tarot reader. It just came to me naturally. So I was, I have been juggling with changing my professions
Like we
since
all are.
since I started it. So there was this one phase in my life where I felt like I'm tired of discussing things with my friends and then friends, so called friends who are not friends anymore. So, how do I get answers for what is meant for me? Where am I going? What is going to happen with me? So, I was always very curious, intrigued about energies, universe, looking for small signs. So back then, like 6, 7 years, even before that, I didn't know, okay, there's something called as tarot and you can connect to energies, you can tap into knowing what is right for you. So I just used to look around for signs, talk to God randomly, and keep getting signals every now and then and feel the energy everywhere that I go of new people, new places. So that's when I started reading more that okay, there are a lot of things going on. How do I decode that in my life? Like, how do I get out of that confusion phase of my life or that downfall of my life? So that's when I came across posts which were more related to tarot, um, any sort of like Lama Fera healings, and all these spiritual techniques that people use to make their life more happier. So I just randomly thought of, and then at that time I was studying I had my online store, online business, and I was also studying at that time marketing. So I was already into something which already my 2 foot, like both the foots were at different places. But I just thought, as just for the my sake, let's just learn something new. I just spoke randomly to my family, my dad, that, okay, should I just learn something like that? Like, I don't know how cool they would be. Like, there's always this one myth that, oh, tarot, and what is it, and how can you do that? And I mean, it's not so much acceptable. Wasn't acceptable at 6 years back, 7 years back. So I just thought, like, just let's learn it. Just see how can I get answers for myself. So it was all about me. So when I started learning it, I realized that the cards. So there are different cards in tarot, 78 cards. Now each cards have pictures on it, and in each picture there's a lot of thing happening in the background. So I started understanding the card before even that was taught to me. So I'd never seen tarot cards before learning it. Uh, Obviously, I just glanced through YouTube and all of it, but I didn't know the whole, okay, these are the cards, that's how it actually looks like. So when I started learning, before my ma'am could actually finish explaining it, I thought I already knew 70% of it. And the rest I'm just gaining. So it just maybe something was already there. It was meant for me, but it just came to me in this form, in this whole situation. And that's when I learned it from one place, then second place, third place, and then I kept reading new books, and out of curiosity, just that, oh, I want to know what will happen with me after 2 months. Where is my life going? What is right for me, not right for me, so that I don't need anybody else's dependency on my life. So with this thought process, I just learned, went forward. And then when it started working, almost 6, 7 months of me learning and then practicing on my friends and family, when I saw it helping their lives as well, that's when I thought that why not capitalize it? Like, why not take it professionally? So that's how I ended up taking it full time after 1.5 year of learning, and then started putting it out as a profession as well.
So I think you are your first testimonial because whatever you've learned, you've applied to your life.
Own life. And
Right?
yeah, loved, I mean, close people's life.
Yeah.
Just as a fun, like I never used to charge them. It's just that ki theek hai, mujhe aata hai, and let's just do it.
Okay. So if you were to explain what tarot is to a 5-year-old or 10-year-old, how simply, just give me a simplified explanation on how it actually works.
So it works on energies. It taps into your energies. It's something where whatever is going on inside you, which is unheard, I tap into what that energy is, what that answers are.
For example, energy is like what, body language?
No, and something that is going on very subconsciously inside you, which you are not aware about as well. But your higher self, so we all have higher selves. Your higher self knows what's good for you. So tarot will help you it will show you a mirror of this is the reality, this is what you're supposed to do, this is where you're supposed to go. So it's more like a blueprint of your life that tarot works on energies. It doesn't have to do anything with your astrological charts or your numbers. It's all about who you are at that point of time in life.
Right. So I might be a different person when I was a child, and today I'm a totally different person. So tarot is something which will help me pivot based on what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. So every 1 year, or say in the gaps that you get your cards read, you also evolve. Your thoughts evolve, your desires evolve. So that's how, again, a new reading is done, new direction is given. So it helps you decode, in short, a lot of things in your life, solve a lot of confusions of your life.
So is it like a problem solving tool?
Yes,
You
100%.
can call it that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Guidance, problem solving,
Both.
both.
So, for example, if I were to choose a career, I'm like 16-year-old, I want to pick which college I want to go to. Is that something which I can decide through the help of tarot?
You can decide courses, career, colleges, locations, but you need to have a brief understanding on at least some options in your head. Otherwise, it goes very unrealistic because there may be endless colleges and cities as well. So many professions. It can give you an idea of, okay, this theme of profession is good for you. Say, for example, anything to do with creative field. Now, creative field might have 10 things. So you need to tell me in that which are you wanting to do. Then I can see which is the best within it as well.
So, like, you have so many clients, you've been working professionally for over 5 years now. You have helped so many people. What are the general themes that people come to you with?
Two major areas, career and relationships, I think, which is the heart and soul of everybody's life. And mostly in these couple of months, I've realized that most of the people are more inclined towards career question and money related to career as well. So those are standard readings for money, love, career.
So, for example, if I were to seek out help from a tarot reader, how do I know which is the reader for me? Is it something like some readers can only help certain people? Are there certain rules like that?
No, so the rule that goes is normally reading is done when you're 16, 17 and above, because that's when you have a little more evolved mindset and energies to connect as an adult. And reader, you can choose anyone you actually feel connected to. Not that, okay, this reader is a cheap reader or charging low price, so let's just get answer. Or this reader is an expensive reader, so necessarily has to be the best reader. No, if you're feeling connected to that person's energy, thoughts, previous readings that you see on maybe their page, that's when you choose. You're just very naturally, that's an intuition or instinct that comes up.
So, how do I build a trust with a reader? This is a common theme with a therapist as well, right? So, how do I, because see, whenever someone's coming for a reading, they are probably giving out the most sensitive information of their lives. They are opening up to you with their insecurities. So, how do I trust people? Because in therapy, they do have a confidentiality agreement, they have to abide to that ethical rules. So, what is there in tarot? Like, what ethics a tarot reader has to follow?
So normally, even with the readings, it's very confidential. I cannot, even if you're a relative to me, even if you're my cousin, I cannot still. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed in the in this whole occult field. You're not in general allowed to share anything about a person because it's very sacred. You connect to your cards. You once you start going against the rules or criterias of that emotions of that person or that secrecy of that person, you automatically start getting disconnected to your cards, so it impacts you in your own readings. Like you end up not becoming who you should be. So first, you're not allowed to share things. As far as trust is concerned, see, normally, even when we seek any therapist help or even any doctor in this matter, we always go by recommendations. We don't randomly choose unless and until we don't have recommendation. It's a different thing. But normally, if some of your friends have done friends of friends have done, they are the one who would root you that it worked for us, go forward, and that's how you trust. The other thing is that if you don't know and if you're randomly like you just pass through the page, you first see whether you feel a clean energy of that person or not. Like, what is the first instinct that came when you saw them? Did you feel connected to any of their readings? How is this what you're seeking? The way their style, the way or the style with which they are doing readings, is this something that you're seeking? And the third thing is you go with a very open mindset then, without any judgments that, okay, this is what I'm going to hear or this is what I'm going to gain. No, just go with an open mindset. And as in when your cards unfold, you will realize that, okay, it's resonating to my life. This is what is actually happening with me. And that's how you start trusting the reader. So the first time is always an experimental time of you just going with the open mind.
So now this is so I've never done a tarot reading, so I'm asking you very plain questions without a background context. For example, if someone comes to you, they are going through a terrible breakup period, but they want to patch up very desperately with that person. They have decided that person is going to be love of their life, so they come to you for a reading with what's going to happen with the situation. So naturally, they want to hear the positive thing, and you are also a human being. We are all empathetic to a certain extent. You want to comfort that person. So do you ever compromise on the truth from what you are downloading from those energies just to comfort the other person?
You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to, when you touch your cards, those cards are very sacred. They are working for you. Why are they not? Why not everybody can start reading cards randomly? If, I mean, those are very exclusive cards for you, designed to connect with you and to extract the energy of other person. So even if I try to lie just for the sake of comforting the other person, I know down the line the person is not is going to come back and either abuse me or think bad about me or stop trusting the whole profession, the whole tarot reading itself. In general, the tarot readers itself, which I would never want, or no tarot reader in this matter would want that. So you don't end up giving, nobody wants, anybody to go through a breakup and not want to meet the love of their life. But in tarot, you kind of get a mirror that, okay, you want to be with this person, understand on which tangent is this person right now and where are you right now. What are the differences that is not letting you become one? So first, I'll show you the mirror of the differences. I'll show you the mirror of things that you can alter in that particular relationship to heal the relationship. The third will be that even after healing, what is actually the person's potential? Like, is this person also worth it? Like, what is going on? What are they thinking? What are their true feelings, true intentions? Where is it going in the upcoming days? How does the say good side and the bad side of the relationship look like if you're together? So when you get a complete 360-degree view of it, you kind of understand, you in yourself would understand whether is it worth it or not, like after hearing the answers. So obviously there's 100% efforts put to see whether is there a scope to heal it or not. Where is this going? Are you actually going to be happy after being in this relationship or not? But if it's coming at a cost of not being happy or the person itself being closed and it cannot be healed, then that mirror has to be shown to you
Okay.
so that you don't fall in a wrong
Do people
trap.
accept it gracefully, what you tell?
60% of time people do accept because they've come with you with a trust. So if their trust is very strong in you or through the recommendation that they have come, they will 100% trust you. At least 60% of them will 100% trust you. But there are obviously 40% of them who will be like, no, 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 I'll not give up. Because see, as a human mind, we don't want to let go on something. I mean, even I wouldn't want to let go on it. So it takes time, but as and when things unfold the way I mentioned that, okay, this is how the person is thinking and is going to act upon, you see that, okay, this person did say, you start going back to those memories and flashes of what I mentioned or a tarot reader mentioned. And that's when they later realize it. So that happens either at that moment or eventually after a couple of months.
Okay, so eventually they
Get a
agree
wake up
to,
call.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes. They
Yeah.
realize, yes.
So do you ever have clients who are just there to test you? Like,
Yes. I'm so happy you are. There are clients who are there to, very few who are there to
or
test
there are
you.
some people who want to just prove you're fraud. Does it ever happen?
It does. It does when somebody comes specifically when a husband and a wife or a boyfriend and a girlfriend. The girls are always they like to hear things. They believe in it. But guys are so. I mean, I feel bad to say this, but guys are resistant. There are still guys out there who are like, "Ye kya hai? What is this? I don't believe this. This is nonsense. This is bullshit." So forget about they not wanting it, but they are very negative and very hateful about it as well. So very disrespectful about it as well. And when the wife has forced, they have no choice but to kind of get the reading done because the wife has already booked it. So they come with such a closed mindset. And the first statement that they say is normally, see, I don't believe in all this, but still my wife has paid for it. So I'm going to try this. So tell me if you have anything to say. So I'm like, no problem. It's okay. I understand you because we've all come from that stage at some point of time in life. So then when they see that without they even sharing anything about their life and cards give them universe messages that these are your mind, body, soul, energy right now, they'll be like, how do you know that? There's no way that I know them personally. So when the cards give them as a proof, then they're blown and then they start believing you more. So, and yeah, a lot of collabs when I do, a lot of influencers when they come with this very testing mindset that I'll not say anything about my life. Let her say. They'll be like, you pick cards, whatever you want to. So, so yeah, and then once they see that, okay, this is crazy, and then they start revealing the 100% of their life.
Yeah. But when I step in with a skeptical mindset, does it does it create a problem with you to gain my access to my energy?
So there's two things. Skeptical mindset won't necessarily cause a problem because that's a very innocent mindset with which you're coming. It's not like a negative or a closed mindset. But if you're very closed, that ye kaun hai? Why will she tell what I should do? She's nobody. Like, I know what is meant for me. Then you're very close. You're not letting me, even if the cards come up, I'll not be still able to deliver what I want to 100% deliver because you're not receptive to listen to that. But if you're coming with a very childlike energy, it's okay. You can still gauge the energy of the person.
Right. So you mentioned about picking cards. Like, so who actually picks the cards? Because on YouTube or Instagram, when we see readings, the reader herself or himself are doing it. So what happens in the real setting?
So if it's a very physical meet, like say we are sitting one to one, then you have the privilege to look at the cards, to choose the cards, to pick up the piles as well. So different piles
What
that we
instructions do you
give.
usually give before someone picks the card?
Card that you're just supposed to choose whichever you're very instantly connected to. So if I show you pile 1 and 2 and you're just drawn to 2, then you cannot say 1. So when you say 2, then I start picking up cards based on my rules. So there are different spreads. Some spreads would have 5 cards to be picked, some would have 7 cards, 3 cards. So then I pick up based on my rules. You just pick up the pile. But just because the answer came the way you did not want to hear,
Yeah.
then you cannot say, no, now I wanted to pick up pile 1.
Keep picking piles until you get the correct
Get the
answer.
the answer you want to hear. So
Yeah,
no.
that-
The answer will still come the same even if you pick pile 1 or 2. The whole point is every card has endless meaning. Like there can be 50 meanings also and 100 meaning also that I can deliver from that card. So if the card has to give a certain answer, it will give even from pile 1 or pile 2. But the whole essence is that since you are putting in your energy and I'm putting in my energy, so I allow you to select the pile. But in a physical meet, you can also pick up cards. But if it's a meeting, like a online meeting, then you cannot pick up cards. Or if it's a telephonic call, then you cannot actually pick up anything. But however, that doesn't make any difference with the accuracy. It's just a more fancy thing. Because see, originally people used to pick up cards because back then there were not many people who used to do tarot readings. Now the quantum has increased. So when you touch my cards, as I said, they're very sacred. Imagine with what energy you're touching. I don't know what is going on in your life at that moment when you picked up. What were your thoughts? There's a lot of negative energy, your energy that also taps in my card. So to keep cleansing the card way too many times, which takes a lot of draining of my energy also. So normally we don't allow picking up cards unless it's a physical meet.
Yeah. And how do you like gauge people's energy levels based on a telephone call?
So the energy levels, there's no measurement to it. But when we start picking up the cards, there are a lot of cards which are very dull cards, draining card, tired some cards, and constantly those cards will keep coming in any question that they ask. So we get to know that, okay, this person in general is feeling low. Is not low in this aspect, but overall their body and mind energy level itself is low. The cards will show up that. Those cards will come up which are low energy cards, low vibrational cards.
That's how you know about
Yes.
the energy. So tarot essentially is energy exchange, right?
Yes.
From what I understand. So you are exposing yourself to so many energies. Not all of them are going to be positive or nurturing. So how do you protect your energy from that? And if you get affected in a way, how do you cleanse your energy?
So one rule that goes is there's this very special prayer that happens before connecting to any client. And then cutting off cord that happens after the session. So cutting off cord is very important. So for me also, there's a gap of 15 minutes between every session. In that 15 minutes, I have to cut cords. By cutting cords have different methods that you can cut through. And there's also overall cleansing that you do during full moon, new moon, with the sage, with the bath salt or with the rock salt, by rock salt bath, or even using crystals with you while you're doing the reading so that you're protected and safeguarded. A lot of high vibrational music or say cleansing music frequency that we listen to. If at a certain day we feel that, okay, that today's energy or today's reading were too many or too much to take. But usually there's a lot of, like, you cannot do more than couple of hours in a day. It's not like you can do 8 hours like a normal 9 to 5 job. You cannot do so many readings in a day. Your body will stop responding only. Like, you'll not be able to connect to the cards only after a few hours. So that's the limit of reading, that there's a timeline that comes, and then the rest period you're just in your things. And as a reader, you always have to try being around nature as much as you can, so that you keep cleansing yourself in those elements of nature itself.
For example, if I'm a reader, but I just went through a personal loss, so should I stop reading for that period until I recover and heal? Or how is it? How does it work?
No, so people normally come during when there is some problem itself. So when there's a problem, it's okay to get still cards read, because you get to know what is the core that is affecting you. So where is your blockage in your life coming from? So even the problem that you've been say, for example, the loss, you can even ask, like, why is it that this came to me, or how is it that I can now change this whole situation for myself? So you'll still get a guidance for even that problem, including any other aspect as well.
So tarot itself is like a very helpful tool, but I think it's getting more popularity nowadays because of internet. And I know so many celebrities prefer getting their readings done. So how does it usually work? Like, is it weekly exercise? Like, what is the recommended thing? Like, should I just come to you with a question, or should I just do it every month as a ritual to just understand where I'm headed towards?
So normally it's done once in a quarter. So normally 3 times is pretty decent enough to continue getting your cards read. Sometimes you might just have one area to be asked. Maybe other area is going fine. Sometimes at the year start, normally you have a lot of things to ask. In the mid year, you have a lot of things to ask. So once in 3-4 months is quite sufficient. It's not a very weekly or a daily activity normally, as much as it happens in a therapy, because this is not therapy. This is you getting to know about yourself and things to act upon. So once in a while, 3-4 months is sufficient.
You mentioned about crystals. That's also one of the topics I'm very curious about. So, like, how does it work with the crystals? Can you just tell everybody, just very simplified explanation, what does a crystal actually do?
So crystals in itself is a very raw form or a natural form of stone. And every crystal has its own benefits. So depending on what is it that you are currently going through in your life, you use crystals. Now crystals can be either bracelet, crystal form of bracelet, or raw stones, which are very natural form, not processed form. The bracelets are a little polished form. Tower. So tower is when you use for normally sleeping, meditation, carrying it with you in your wallet, in your purse. So the energy of crystal itself will cleanse certain things inside you that needs to be cleansed in your life or within you. So it will naturally help you amplify or elevate to the next level of your thoughts. Maybe you're a very confused person, or you cannot concentrate in your studies or at your job, or you're a person who's very fearful in general. Then there's a specific crystal for that. When you start using it, you see your energy circle inside your body, inside your system, healing automatically.
So is it just that I have to carry the crystal, or are there some practices I have to
Practices,
perform
yeah.
with it?
So there's specific day when you're supposed to clean it. Initially, when you buy it, you have to connect to the crystal. There's a prayer for that. There's a method for that. So when you buy, you get a complete guide normally from wherever you buy. And if you just randomly buy, you might not get guide for it. But there's a rule of how to, and that crystal is very exclusive. So you cannot share your crystals with your friends, or you cannot allow them to randomly touch it. So you have to clean your crystal, you have to connect to your crystal, you have to put in your intention into that crystal. There's also a method to put in your intention into that. And then you start using it. And it has to be used consistently, at least for 2 to 3 months to see that results. It won't just magically work in 10-15 days, but anything takes good 1 to 2 months for it to also work, depending on how deeply are you unhealed, depending on that.
Right. But when you are like in that zone where you are extremely under a painful situation, your mindset is not very healthy, you are trying to get help from every corner possible. So, how do you actually stabilize yourself to actually get help from the authentic or a trustworthy, place?
So help can be of different type. Like tarot is one of it. Crystal is one of it. Self-healing practices. There are a lot of spiritual activities, programs also that happen normally, which I do, which maybe other people as well do. Healings that happen, Reiki, pranic. So depending on what is your preference. So if your preference is I cannot heal myself on my own, I don't want to know anything about myself, I just want this healing to happen, then you allow the healer to do that. Say, for example, the Reiki healer to do that. But normally, nobody can heal you as good as you can heal yourself. That's nobody can know you as good as your own higher self wants to support you. So the first step that you go is you get the tarot reading done just to understand what's your standpoint. And then based on that, the reader itself will advise you, do you even need any sort of healing or not? Do you even need anything else apart from the tarot session or not? Depending on the gravity of your situation. So you don't have to jump into everything together. You will just end up getting confused. At least choose one, and the person itself will give you the direction for if anything else needed.